Hi, my name is Kayla.
And I'm Hannah.
And this is Read, Leer, Wiwanik, a YVC Library podcast. The book we're going to be talking about today is These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. So, let's just dive right into it. What did you think right after you finished the book? What did you think of it?
I wasn't shocked. I was like, wait, there has to be, I felt like thinking about the book, I kind of did, kind of wandering off. But then when I got to the end, I'm like, I'm going to have to read the second book.
Oh, yeah. See, honestly, I loved this book. I thought after finishing it, I was like, oh, that's awesome. I love how she ended it.
It's good.
And it really makes you want to read the second book, which is already out, but I haven't read yet because I've been busy.
Oh, yeah, no kidding.
But I really admire this book. I think it's really good writing, and it's honestly in one of my top 10 lists of best books I've read. Which I've read quite a few books, so it's quite the accomplishment, I guess.
Quite the honor.
Well, the honor. But let's dive in. So, you know how in the original Romeo and Juliet, it was the Montagues versus the Kays? I can't remember.
That's high school business.
That's high school business, yes. But for, this, book, do you think you would be part of the Montague family or the Kai family? What would you, what side are you on, basically?
I don't know. I really enjoyed Juliet's side, but,
yes.
Anoma's side had so much, juicy going on.
I know, I'm always partial to the Kais, but when I go to the Montagues, I'm like, oh, and his little sister.
Oh my god,
I love her. But the fact that they live in those, little trashy, apartments, in blocks, it kind of bugs me, because they're, this big crime family.
Yeah.
And they're living in squalor.
Me activity.
Period. So how similar do you think the book is to Romeo and Juliet, the original by Shakespeare?
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
Halfway through the book, it finally clicked that, it was a play on Romeo and Juliet. I'm why do these names sound so familiar? And I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my god.
See, I went into the book knowing that it was, kind of a Romeo and Juliet retelling. And I don't think it was, closely matched.
Yeah.
Because, of course, there's a lot of the same elements, the feuding families.
The, star-crossed lovers.
The star-crossed lovers, but it couldn't be any further from, the original storyline. Yeah. Oh, they fall in love in 2 days, and then they end up, dead.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't really follow that storyline, but I think that's good, because obviously you wouldn't want to retell the original Romeo and Juliet story. I personally prefer this spin on it.
Yeah.
Because I feel when you read the original Romeo and Juliet, oh, these are just, kids, you know? And then the way it ends, it's kind of depressing, sad.
In high school, we had to watch the movie, but, the Leonardo DiCaprio version of it.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, what is going on?
No, it was a whole mess, and I loved it. But let's talk about our favorite characters. What is your favorite character?
Shoot. Oh.
I love how the brain is just, locked down.
All the names are, coming to me.
There's, Marshall, there's Benedict, there's Juliet, there's Roma.
Kathleen?
Yeah, I love Kathleen.
I'm, sitting there and I'm like, is Kathleen even in this book?
Kathleen is in the book. We love Kathleen.
Oh, we love Kathleen.
I love Kathleen. I'm sorry, but I'm a Marshall girl.
Oh,
I love Marshall. I love his attitude.
Oh, yeah. King
Adore
behavior.
him. King behavior. Miss him. Love him. But let's, talk about the monster in the book. When we first, heard about the monster, when we were reading, what did you think about it? I had no idea what was going on.
I had no idea what was going on, and I remember, upon me, I texted you, and I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, no, because I remember reading it, and I was like, I know there's going to be a monster in this book, because I read the summary. Well, not the summary, but the thing.
I went into it blind.
Yeah, no, I read about it, and I was like, oh, a monster. And I wasn't expecting what we figured out about the monster. That was, far from my mind. I was thinking, Godzilla monster in the ocean, some type of beast.
Especially because it's, a book about, the mafia, so it's, you don't really go to,
Yeah, no, I think it was a really good addition, though, because originally you go into it thinking, oh, it's going to be, this star-crossed Romeo and Juliet mafia love story, and then there's, monsters and death and gore.
Okay.
And I was honestly... Definitely thought it was just Godzilla, but amphibious in Shanghai.
I love that.
I love it. But, like, what's your favorite scene? I feel like that's, like, one of the most important, like, bits.
The thing was, I can't remember what chapter it was in, but he had...
Girl, I can't remember chapters either.
Roma had kidnapped Juliet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the scene for me. I was like, I need them to get back. I need them to fall in love. Like,
I know, the whole time I was reading, I was like, oh, I hope they get back
not
together.
only that, but, like, they don't seem like they're over each other, so you
No,
get,
they're
like, these
definitely
moments
not.
between them.
It's, like, very angsty kind
Yeah.
of romance, and I'm here for it.
I'm getting Wattpad.
I'm getting... But no, I think my favorite scene would have to be at the ending. Of course, we know from the last episode that I'm a sucker for the endings. And once we finally found out, like, what the monster was and the reveal about Marshall at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I was like, that's hot. That's awesome.
It. That's the move.
That's, like, peak right there.
That's the moment.
Yeah, no, I was like, But would you, like, change anything at all about the book?
You know what? A lot of... I went through and... Not really. You know, with, like, One of Us Was Lying, I felt like the chapter was too long.
Yeah.
I felt like this was just perfect.
Honestly, I agree. I think this book was amazing. Obviously, I have the poster for this book hanging up in my room. That's how much I love it.
She's a little geeky.
I'm a little nerd, but I mean, I work in a library, so it's kind of like a given, I guess. But what do you think of the things that Roma and Juliet did to each other those 4 years ago? Oh yeah, no.
You know, when it kind of just all came out, it was just like...
Like, they literally basically murdered each other's family members. And I was just sitting there like, wow. That's a lot of drama.
I could not imagine doing that to someone else.
I can't imagine, like, being in love with someone and then hurting them like that.
Yeah.
But it's not like they were given the option either.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like,
it was very
they had to do it. Honestly, I don't think I can even put them at fault for it because their parents made them do it.
It was the family, yeah.
But still, just imagine being in that situation, dude. But do you think that they're good people at heart, despite all the things that they've committed?
I feel like I want to say yeah. I mean, what are you feeling?
I think they're imperfect. I think they have good elements, but I think some of the things they've done is, bad, definitely messed up. But yeah, I do think killing people is a little, illegal and should not be done. But of course, it's in the book and it's about the story. Yes. And it's kind of like their lives. It's not like we could really
change them,
call them bad people for it.
Yeah.
But like, if you had like an overall rating though for the book, what would you give it out of 10?
I'd give it a solid 10. I feel like
okay, period. Because I was thinking the same thing.
It honestly, like, One of Us Was Lying, I really didn't hold my attention. I think maybe because I got it beforehand. But like this one, I was so engaged with.
Oh yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Were you surprised when Marshall, quote unquote, died, like by Juliet? Were you surprised when she supposedly killed him?
Yeah, but then like. There's only so much I can say without, like, spoiling everything.
Well, that's the point of the podcast, babe. It's all about spoilers.
It was like, oh my god, like, I can't believe she did that. And then, like...
I was taken aback. I was like, there's no way Juliet would just, like, kill him in front of Roma, of all people. It made no sense. But, like, when you finished that chapter, it seemed like that's what actually happened. Yeah. And you were like, oh my god, they're not gonna...
Disbelieve, closing the book.
Honestly. But do you think Juliet's cousin... God, I forgot his name. He's the crazy one.
Ooh.
What do you think of him? Because I think he's a psychopath.
I think he's very entitled because, like, in the opening chapters, he wanted, what Juliet had.
Yeah, he, like, wants her position, but I'm just like, you're never gonna have it. You're not.
Settle down. Like, she already has it, bud.
She already has it. There's no point in pining for it.
Yeah, no kidding.
But let's, like, dive into, like, a hotter question. Do you think that they're gonna die at the end of the second book, like Romeo and Juliet died in the original?
I think you had mentioned this this weekend, and I was kind of like, I mean, maybe. I think if they do follow, the same Romeo and Juliet storyline, I think yes. Yeah. But if they do die, I want them to die together.
I feel like I want them to fake their deaths.
And then run away.
And run away, yes. Yeah. If they have to, like, die, I hope it's, like, a fake death. Yeah. Because, I mean, they're super young. Yeah. And they're just mixed in, like, a bad situation.
And they love each other.
I hope it doesn't end that way, personally. Yeah. But I won't, like, be mad if it does, because it is kind of, like, a modern-ish retelling of Romeo and Juliet. But, like, let's kind of, like, dig in back to, like, Marshall and Benedict.
Oh.
Do you think that they're gonna end up together?
I hope so.
You can clearly tell that they have feelings
Yeah.
for each other, but originally, when I was reading about them, I thought they were related. Because they were in, like, the Montego household. And I was like, oh my god, are they related and, like, low-key flirting right now?
And sexual.
And, like, when we learned that they weren't related, I was like, whew.
She's like, okay.
And then, like, how heartbroken Benedict was when he thought that Marshall was gone. Well, he still thinks it's gone as far as the first book. But I was like, oh, if that were me, on the spot, I would just be, like, screaming and crying.
Wolf out.
But, like, let's kind of, like, move towards, like, the little end of this part of the episode. Do you think the second book is going to live up to our expectations? Do you think it'll be just as good as the first?
I feel like a lot of times with the second book, I find myself not as impressed.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what it is.
See, I love duologies and trilogies, but sometimes when you have, like, a book series set up like that, the ending is kind of disappointing.
Yeah, it's kind of...
Like, for example, my favorite series is the Gone series by Michael Graham, and he had a spin-off series, and I didn't like how that ended.
Yeah.
Personally, it was just a personal choice of mine. I loved his writing. I loved all of his previous books. I loved that book up until the ending, and I was just kind of, like, disappointed with that. But I have high hopes for Miss Chloe Gong.
Yeah.
I think that she is gonna pull it off. I think it's going to be beautiful. I honestly, this is probably going to be one of my favorite episodes down the line because I just really love this book and I feel like it's like just perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think we are running out of time.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to have to wrap it up. So this is our friendly reminder to register to vote. Again, please.
I mean, honestly.
You gotta vote, vote, vote. Alright? Please. We're counting on you. But I
don't count on anybody.
But we also really hope that you enjoyed this episode. It's a little longer than the first one. Well, it might be around the same length. But I think we had a really good discussion, and I really enjoyed it. So I think we're gonna sign off.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed. Bye.
Bye.